Hello students, we'll continue our today's class with a step-test method of analysis of structures. And in the last class, we have discussed the various concepts on step-test method, and we'll start with the step-test matrix today again. Now we have discussed in the last class that this K matrix is equal to like this K11, K21, K31. And we have also discussed the meaning of Kij and what is the meaning of Kij into delta j, or what is the meaning of Kii into delta I. I remember well, we have discussed all these things. So Kij means if you are applying a unit displacement at I, what is the force developed at coordinate j. So force, or you can say force at coordinate j due to a unit displacement applied at I. Kii delta I means if you are giving a unit displacement at ith coordinate, then what is the force developed at ith? That is Kii delta I. And Kij delta j means what is the force developed at coordinate I due to the displacement delta j. It could give the displacement delta j, but the force developed at j, that is called Kij delta j. So this is the stiffness matrix that we have discussed on last class, and we'll continue the details on this in this class. Now, so how to now each matrix has a column. So to develop each column, that means to develop the jth column. To develop the jth column of stiffness matrix, unit displacement shall be given at coordinate j. So if you are interested for the jth column, give a unit displacement at j and find the force for all other coordinate directions. And that's a property of the matrix, as you know, Kij is equal to Kji. So if you take one side of the diagonal, you calculate, other side will be same as this. So Kij is equal to Kji. That means if I have a 3 by 3 matrix, 3 by 3 matrix, I can calculate this, 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 this. The others will follow like this. So this will equal to this equal to this equal to this. Okay, like that I can write down. So Kij is equal to Kji. Ji is the property of the stiffness matrix. So if you know this K21, you should not calculate K12. So they are same. You can put the value here once you calculate this. Now this is how to calculate the jth column of a stiffness matrix. So any column you are interested, put a unit displacement in that coordinate and find the displacement in that coordinate, find the force required at other coordinates and write this value in that column. That will be the jth column. Now, if you write the basic equation of the displacement components at different joints, then I will K into delta, the stiffness matrix into the displacement matrix is equal to the force developed minus the applied loads. If any of the loads is applied at the joints, so that load also will be considered at that joint. So that will be P minus PL. Right? So what does that mean now? If you will expand these terms, you can write down what is the P minus PL. You can write down like this. Let's see this. Your P1 is equal to P1L, that's the applied loads, plus K11 delta 1. If you multiply this matrix, K11 into delta 1. If you write here this matrix like this, like delta 1, delta 2, delta 3, delta 3. What was the equation? K11 delta 1, K12 delta 2, K1 3 delta 3 K1 delta. So similarly, K21 delta 1, K22 delta 2. So we can write down these values. So by multiplying these values, we can write down this. Now let us go to that equations. So that will be the equations will develop from this matrix, and you can write down this P1, P2, P3. Where this P1L, P2L, PNL, they are the applied loads at joints. In the joints, if there is no applied forces, so this component will be equal to 0. Right? We have seen P minus PL. So now PL come to this side, K delta plus PL. So we can find out P1L, P2L, P3L like this way. At any joint, if there is no applied force, then this component will be equal to 0. Okay. Now you have the simultaneous equations. There will be n number of unknowns, delta 1 to delta n, and there will be n number of equations. So we can find out the value. Or what you can say, you can write down also delta is equal to K inverse. K, we will find the inverse of matrix, K inverse P minus PL. This matrix. Okay. So you can find delta 1, delta 2, delta 3 by just doing the inverse. So doing the inverse in the examination, maximum to 3 by 3 is possible, and 2 by 2 is to be can be done with a less time, and 3 by 3 matrix inverse will take more time. So generally in the exam we'll find maximum 2 by 2 matrix, 3 by 3 matrix. But as far as the problem is concerned, you can solve these problems by computers, by MATLAB, or by any mathematical software, and we can find out the value of these p values or this delta values by K inverse P minus P. So any size of n by n matrix can be inversed in the software. So you can go to software and write this K matrix, write the P, okay, P matrix, write the PL matrix. So you can write P minus PL matrix. So then K inverse of this matrix delta, simple programming, you can solve this problem. As for the exam purpose, so 2 by 2 is easy, but 3 by 3 will take more time. Up to 3 by 3 can solve in exams. So now after finding delta 1, delta 2, delta 3, now you can find out what? Any reactions you can find out in the beam. So if you have a beam and you have the what are the delta values unknown, then you can find these reactions and the moments by using the equations. So once you find the delta, so then you can find out the more forces and joints in the joints. Now let us go to step by step procedure. So what we'll do in this problem. Now, if you have been asked to solve a problem by stiffness method, so your first will first find the degree of kinematic indeterminacy. Let it be n. So first find out this kinematic indeterminacy n. So we have already discussed in the last class how to find out the kinematic indeterminacy of this system. After finding the kinematic indeterminacy system, suppose you have the three indeterminacy, you give the coordinates. So 1, 2, 3. You have the generalized coordinate. It may be your rotations, or it may be your displacements. You give the name 1, 2, 3. Okay. So that is assign the coordinate system, because you have to find K11, K21, K21, like K31. So you have to find all these things. So you have to assign the coordinates. That means if you apply the displacement at 1, what is the force at 1, 2, 3, that you have to find out. So that is why the assigning the coordinates is very important. So you should finding the number of kinetic indeterminacy, then assign the coordinate numbers. Then impose restraints in all coordinate direction to get fully restrained structure. Now you fixed all the spans. By fixing all these spans, you can find out the fixed end moments. Okay. So calculate the force developed. Force developed means it is moments or maybe the forces. Okay, it's our process. Right. Once you make the restraints of all these coordinate directions, and calculate the force developed in each of the coordinate direction fully restrained structure. This is known as PL. So what is the PL? PL, suppose this is the beam. Okay, this is the beam we are going to solve. And there is some load here. There is a let UDL, and there is a point load here. So what I will do, I will fix this span. Okay, this rotation is restrained. Now this is the load. So due to the applied load, I will find the fixed end moments. Right. So these fixed end moments is nothing. This is the PL. Also, I will find out fixed end moments for these. Okay, I'll find fixed end moment for AB and BC. Right? So what is the joint load at B? I will take these and also these. So I will take sign convention and find the total joint. What is the total force or moments at the joints due to the restraint condition? That is PL. I think you now understand what is the PL. So for different coordinates, you have to find the value of PL. That is the joint to find the forces developed, the restraint condition of the all these coordinates you have already assigned your degrees of freedom. Now, once you find this PL value, P value will be given in the problem itself. P value means what is the load applied at the joint. Suppose here the moment is applied, so that will be the P value. P value applied load. Okay. So P minus PL you can find out. Then calculate the stiffness matrix K. Now by giving the unit displacement, so now you know how to find out the K matrix. Once you solve these things, then we have to find the K matrix. So that means you have the three coordinates, you have to make a 3 by 3 matrix. So give a unit displacement at coordinate 1, find out to 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1. Then give a displacement at 2, maybe it may be rotation, it may be a displacement, and find out 1, 2, 3. Also in give 3 and find 1. So this is how we'll develop the K matrix, K11, K21, K31, right? So similarly, you can find up to K33. This is the 3 number of kinetic indeterminates or 3 number of unknowns. Then calculate the find the forces in different coordinate direction or the final force P. So different for final force you have to calculate the coordinates. Once you find the value of P and PL, then you can solve the equation this K into delta is equal to P minus PL. K into delta is equal to P minus PL. So from this equation, we know the value of the K. We know value of K. We know value of delta. Delta is to be found out. What is the value of delta? P is known, PL is known, K is known. So either as I've told, I write the inverse matrix. Delta is equal to K inverse. From this, we can find out the value of delta. Once you find delta, then the calculate member force using the joint displacement. So by taking the each member and knowing the joint displacements, you can find out the value of this member forces. So these are the steps to be followed for each problem. So the important thing is you have to find out identify the kinetic indeterminates. What are the indeterminates you have to first find out, and that will give the degrees of freedom. So degrees of freedom or the kinetic you have to find out, and accordingly you have to assign the force, and then you can find out the joint force and the applied forces, and then the stiffness matrix. Then you use the equation to find out. So you know K delta is equal to. Once you find the displacement of the joints, then for each beam, you draw the diagram, and you know the delta values. Then you can now find out the forces and reactions. This span. Let us see an example now. So what is given here? Calculate end moments for the continuous beam shown in figure. Now, this is the problem. Now, here we have a fixed head at A, roller support at B, roller support at C. There is a 100 kilonewton load acting at center of span BC. There is a UDL 60 kilonewton meter is acting on the span AB. Span is 4 meter. Now, if you talk about this moment of inertia and Young's modulus, they are remaining same. Nothing is mentioned in the question, means that remains same throughout the problem. So first thing you have to find the kinematic indeterminacy. Now, as we know, this is a fixed support, so it is there will be no kinematic indeterminacy because theta 0, delta 0, everything is 0 here in this case. Now here the vertical displacement is restrained, and there will be a rotation here. So take this is rotation is clockwise is one direction. This is one kinetic indeterminate. This is your second indeterminate, that is the rotation at C. Right. If you take 1 and 2 as the so theta 1, theta 2. So two unknowns are here, theta 1 and theta 2. These are these kinematically indeterminacy of the structure. And the next step, what we'll do, we have discussed that then make this problem restrained. Now we have to restrain this rotation, then you have to fix the beam. Rotation means you have to apply the moment. So that means the ends will be now fixed. So this is the restraint structure. Now in the restraint structure, you have to calculate the forces developed at the joints. Okay. You have to calculate the forces developed at the joints. Now for AB, now AB is a fixed beam with a UDL 60 kilonewton meter. Then the fixed end moments at AB and BA, as you already know, that is equal to MF AB equal to minus MF BA. That will be WL square by minus WL square. So you can calculate the value, right? Minus WL square by 12. W is equal to 60. 4 square, so it comes minus 80. That means MFAB is equal to minus 80. MFBA is equal to plus 80. That means here the moment is anti-clockwise acting 80. Here the moment is acting clockwise 80, right? For this part. Here it is your BC and CB. It is a point put at center, so minus WL by 8. Minus sign is forget here. So this is minus WL by 8. So if you put for this MFBC and MCB minus WL by 8, so that is equal to your W is 100, L is equal to 3 by 100, it comes minus 37.5. So minus 37.5 means here 7.5, here is plus 37.5. Now this is how the forces calculated at different zones. Now your task is to find out P1L. What is the meaning of P1L? That means we have to find out the moments at the coordinate 1 due to the applied. What is the joint load? Okay. Joint load will be now, here is minus 80 and here is minus 37.5. Okay. Now this value is clockwise, so plus 80. And this is minus 37.5. So P1L will be plus 42.5. So we have to find out in the direction of the, or find in the direction of the joints. Okay, we have taken this theta 1, theta 2. In this direction, we have to find out value. Okay. For P2L it is 37.5. Here it was clockwise, so it is plus. Now Both the case you find P1L, P2L is 42.5. That's it. Now you understand what is the P1L, P2L. That means due to the applied force, restrain these coordinates and then find out what is the load coming in the joint due to this applied. So that will be in the direction of that. So we are taking clockwise. So clockwise movements are positive, anti-clockwise movements are negative. We have initially assumed the directions that rotation clockwise direction is positive. So once you find this P1L and P2L, then we'll go for the stiffness matrix. Now, what is the P value here? P value means what is the load applied at the joints. Which in the joint B there is no load applied, joint C no load applied. If somebody will give a movement here or some problem there will be movement here, so that movement will be considered as the joint applied P. Load at joints applied. So this is not these loads are coming due to the fixing event P1L. Right? This is the fixing this restraining this coordinates of this kinematic indeterminacy coordinates we are restraining. By restraining this, we are finding this values. So that is the restraint condition. So we have what we told that by fully restrained structure. So that is the P1L. So restraints in all coordinate directions, but the P value is the load applied at the joints. So there is no load applied at the joints in this problem. So P matrix will be 0 and P1L matrix will be 42.5. That's it. Okay. Now we'll find P minus PL. Now we'll find K. We find the value of K, then we can find out theta 1 and theta. Now let us complete this problem. How to develop the stiffness matrix? Develop the stiffness matrix, will apply a unity rotation at 1 and find what is the force developed at 1 and 2. Now here theta A is equal to 0, delta is equal to 0 by giving a unit rotation. Okay. Now what will be K11? Theta, if K11 is the force developed, what's the moment developed? Theta we are providing is the moment developed. You know what is the moment developed by this slope deflection method? What is MAB? That is equal to EI by L. Theta A plus 2 theta B minus 3 delta by L. Okay. So this is L. This is not 4. This is L value, and L value will be different for different. So this L has been taken as 4. So this is the L of this span. This is the L of this span. Now what will the force developed with theta? You will get some value from this beam. You will find some moment also from this span. For this span, the L is equal to 4. For this span, L is equal to 3. Now while calculating for this is the near end, this is the far end. So theta A plus 2 theta B minus 3 delta by L. And for this 2 theta B plus theta C minus 3 delta by L. Now delta is equal to 0. Then delta is equal to 0. Then theta is equal to 0. Now you write the equation. What the equation? 4 EI. Now theta B is equal to 1. Right? Theta B is equal to 1. So the value of theta B is equal to 1. So we are getting unit rotation. Now theta C also 0. Okay. Because we have restrained this while applying the unit force here. All others are locked. Also there will be no theta 2. Simple like this. Like this, I am applying a rotation here. All other are constraints. All are the constraints. Only apply unit rotation here and develop what is the value is coming. While you are applying here only one rotation, theta C is also equal to 0. That is equal to theta C. Here theta C is restrained, locked. So while you are applying in one direction, other direction are locked. So there is nothing is applied there. So you will find by you see what will find 2 to 4 EI by 4. Theta B is equal to 1. Here 2 to 4 EI by 3. Theta C 0. Okay. So this will be now 7 EI by 3. So now we develop K11 like this. Now what is due to 1? What is the 2 value? K21. K21 means it is only this span BC, right? K21 means only the span BC will given. This is 2, this is 1. So this will have no contribution to this 2 coordinate, this span. Now what will be K21? So you develop the equation that is MCB. What is MCB? MCB basically the moment force development, that is moment. MCB is basically here is equal to K21 into theta B. Theta B is equal to 1. Now this is as K21. Okay. So you can what is this value we have seen? This is equal to 2 EI by L into, this is the near end, this is the far end. So theta B plus 2 theta C minus 3 delta by 0. Here theta C is equal to 0, delta is equal to 0. So 2 EI by L, theta B is equal to 1. So it comes out to be 2 EI by 2. So now you understood that we develop the stiffness matrix of the first column. In the first column we get this is equal to 7 EI by 3, and we got a value 2 EI by 3. Okay. And if you not develop this also, you can write this value is equal to here same value 2 EI by 3, that is K. This was K21. This will be K12. K12 is equal to K21. So you can write same, or you can, for the basic things to understand, you can also develop the value. So let us go to K22 and K12. Okay. If you see here, now A, B, C. So these are log. This theta is equal to 1, and here there will be no rotation. It's only locked. So only you free this and find apply here 1 unit at 2. Applying 1 into 2, what will develop out of 1? This will come only from this span only. This no contribution will come from this span only. So the equation will be 2 EI by L, that is 3, into at B you will find out that is 2 theta B plus theta C. Okay, that is it. 2 EI by 3, 2 theta B plus theta C minus 3 delta by L. So what will the value now? Here theta B 0, delta is equal to 0. Wherever you apply the width rotation or displacement, if that value is equal to 1, all other are 0. Okay. Direction where you will going to apply either unit rotation or unit displacement, that value remain 1. That coordinate, all other coordinates will be locked. That means that will be 0, and calculate the stiffness. Now K12 is the force required, that is the moment required. That is 2 EI by 3. 1. So 2 EI by 3. We have also seen K12 is equal to K21, that you can prove here now. Okay. What is K22? K22 also will come from only the span BC. Because if one find 2 here, okay, K22, so nothing will come from the span AB. It will only come from the span BC. It is not related to at all span AB. Theta C is equal to, here theta 2 is equal to 1, and all other value is equal to 0. Or theta C is equal to 1, all other are equal to 0. So theta C is equal to 1, theta B is 0, delta 0, so it becomes 4 EI by 3. Right? Now I think you understand the concept of this for calculating the stiffness matrix. Now, what is the final force in direction 1 and 2? Because P matrix is 0, I have told there is no load applied. So P minus PL you have to calculate. Now come to here. Now see what is the value here. Now write the K matrix, that is K11, K11, K21, K1 to K2. I think you understand that. So this is your the matrix will be like this. K11, K21, okay, K1 to second column, K2. All the four values you obtain 7 by 3i, 2 by 3i, 2 by 3i, 4 by 3i. And what is the delta? Delta is equal to the two unknowns. That is theta b and theta c, that the kinematic indeterminacy. There are two coordinates. And p value 0, 0 and PL we have found 42.5, 37.3, both are plus minus. Now what is theta b, theta c is K inverse of this. Okay. So I think inverse matrix calculation you know. So we will not discuss how to get the value of this inverse matrix. So and find the inverse of matrix, then multiply this, you will find these two values. These two values become theta b and theta c. This is theta b and theta c. Now what is MAB? Come to find out MAB, MBA, MBC and MCB, so that we can draw the bending moment diagram. Because finally we will draw the bending moment diagram. MAB is equal to the fixed end mode MFAB plus 2EI by L, 2 theta I, theta B minus 3 delta by L. So this thing you know. Okay. This is known to you. So you can calculate the value. MFA is equal to minus 80 and theta A is 0. Theta B is given, delta is equal to 0. This value is found. Minus 85.938 kilonewton. So in the similar way, we can find out MBA, MBC and MCB. Right? You can calculate the value of MBA, MBC, MCB. So MAB was minus 85.983. So that was minus 85.938. Right? 85.938. Right? Okay. So this is MAB. Now you got all these moments. So I think you can draw the bending moment diagram. So how to calculate the bending moment diagram now? MAB. So you can do so MCB 0, and this is plus, this is minus. Okay. Now you can. What was our problem? What is the UDL? This was the UDL of. We can come here. Minus 85.938 and then that was plus 68.8.1. So what are the values now? This problem, I can say this is minus 85.93. So it will draw the diagram is 85.938. This is 68 point something plus 68.15 or whatever the value can write out. And here also 68.1 minus. So both must be equal and opposite, as you know. Where there's some, so it's 0 here. Now if you draw the bending moment diagram, how the bending moment diagram look like? So what I can do, now I will draw this line. Sorry. Okay, let me draw here itself. Let you forget about these things. This is the beam now. 85.938 I have got here. 85.938. Here is 68.15. Get 68 somewhere else. This will come down here. And it comes down to be 0. Right? So this is your member moments at the joints. 68.15 and 85.9. You draw these end moments. This is anti-clockwise. So bending moment is negative here. This is clockwise bending moment negative here. Anti-clockwise bending moment negative and 0. Now this is the simple separated we have to superimpose. So 60 means WL square by 8. 60 into L square is 16 by 8, so 120. 120 is the value here. You can draw the value like this. Okay, from the center, so this value becomes 120. Okay, and this is WL by 400 into 400 to 100. So you find your value will come around 100. Okay, this value come around 100. Now this is positive, negative, positive, and negative. So if you are interested to find the shear force, you have to split the beams and find these reactions as you have already studied in the slope method. Let us go to the next problem. So we have this problem is complete. Let us see there is another problem from here. This is a overhanging problem, and here we have the interesting part is we have given moment of inertia is different. The moment of inertia of span AB. So here it is 2y, and here is all rest is I. Others are I. So there's the overhanging part, and the load is acting here is 600 kilonewton and 80 kilometer. 90 it is not at center, it is at WAB by L, so it is a distance 2 meter from end A, and there is overhanging load 60 kilonewton. So this is the thing. Like the previous problem, what we'll do, we'll first find out this. We'll find out this kinematic indeterminacy of these things. Now, this can be this problem can be equivalent to 60 into 2. 60 into 2 is the moment acting here. We can equivalent this to like this. So this 60 to 120, that means instead of overhanging part means there is a moment applied at joint C. You are talking about the P matrix. Okay. We are talking about the P matrix. In this case, the P matrix will be, suppose you have the two rotations here, the kinetic indeterminacy. So P will be here 0 and 1, 2. Get my point. And here the P minus PL we are writing. So PL is due to the restraint conditions. Now we'll find the P value 0 and 120. Okay. So this 120 is the load applied or external load applied at the joints. Okay. So this is clockwise, we can take positive. Now, once you find this concept, let us go to this. So the interest of doing this problem is you will know what is the meaning of the P matrix. The meaning of P matrix. So in the last problem, we have the P matrix was equal to 0. Now the P matrix was 0. Here you'll find the P matrix is coming 120 here. Now you find this kinetic indeterminacy like the previous problem. It's the same problem, only difference there is a load applied at the joint. Okay. So you'll find the theta 1, theta 2 as your kinetic indeterminacy. So 1 and 2 is the degree of kinetic indeterminacy. So we can find right here kinetic indeterminacy 1. Now, once you find the kinetic indeterminacy 1, 2, the next step is restrain the coordinates. So you restrain 1 and 2. So find the fixed end moments now. Okay. Span AB and span BC, you find the fixed end moments. Now, the fixed end moments will be for span AB. You have a UDL at the in the span BC and point load 90 at distance A. So this is A, this is B. So the fixed end moment A will be minus W A B square by L square. So put the values. W is 60. 60 means 10. 60, 120. 120 means 20 by 6. 90 perhaps. Wrongly coming. 120. Let us check. 120 into 16 by 36. There's a mistake. 6, 20, 10, 3. So this is now comes 160. No, this will be 90. Oh, this is 90. 90 means 180. So 5, 16, 8. Okay. Please make the correction. So this is correct. This is 90. So this value will be 90. This value will be 90. Please make the correction. There's a mistake. Now, so WAB square by L square, 2 into 4 square by 6 square, become minus 80, and here it will come plus 40. So W square B by L square plus. Now, if you come to span BC, so this is 80 kilonewton per meter. So 80 multiplied by 4 square by 12 minus 106.67. Now, what is the joint load here? We have discussed earlier. So this force is 106 point moment, 106.67, and this side is 80. Right? This side 80. And here it is plus 106.6, so clockwise. Now, what is your PL? PL is the joint load. It is more clearly explained here. That was not given in the last problem. So at this joint B, what is the joint load? That now PL, that is MFBA plus MFBC. So this is clockwise 80, this is anti-clockwise. So net is anti-clockwise minus. So it will be minus 66 point. Okay. So MFBA is 40 and 106.67, so it becomes minus. Now here this value is plus. MFBC is equal to minus MFCB, so MFCB is equal to plus 106.67. So now this you will find the value of PL here. Okay. So what is the P value? 0 and 120, not 1200. Again, there is a mistake here. So this is 0 and 120. We have already seen the load applied at joints. So the joint load at C comes due to this overhanging load 60 into 2. So that becomes 120. 60 into 2, 120 clockwise. So it comes positive. So this is the P value. So you can now find out P minus PL. So earlier the P in the previous problem P was 0, 0. Find here there is a load applied at the joints due to this overhanging. Now let us see. Next we will develop the stiffness matrix. We developed P and PL. Let us next develop the stiffness matrix. How to develop the stiffness matrix at now ABC. Now here the problem is that this is 2I. Okay, if I am correct, this is 2I and this is I. We have now incorporate the I value. Yeah, earlier it was I and I, so it was very easy to directly to calculate the values. Here, as you see, theta A is equal to delta I is equal to 0 is equal to theta C also, not being written. So like the previous problems, you'll find K11. Means at B, it will come from this span and from this span. So from this span, it will be theta A plus 2 theta B. From here, it will be 2 theta B plus theta C. Okay. theta c cancel 0, delta 0, theta a 0. But here the I is equal to 2y. So you have to incorporate the I value here itself. The standard formula is 2ei by L. So if E varies, I varies, that has to be incorporated in the equation. What is incorporated here? Now 2 to 4 to 8, 8 by 6. And here 2 to 4, so 4 ei comes again, same value comes 7 ei by 3. 7 ei by 3. So this span was is your 6 meter and this span is your 4 meter. Okay. Now what is K21? It will only come from the span BC. So it will be 2 theta theta B plus 2 theta C, right? Theta B plus 2 theta C and 2 ei by L, L means span of the BC. So it becomes 2 ei by 4. Delta 0, theta C 0, so ei by 2. Ei by 2 is the K21. Now K21 must be equal to K12. Go to the second. Now, what is the problem here? Now, your theta b 0, delta 0, and you are applying the 1 unit displacement rotation in coordinate 2. What is the force developed at 1? That is K12. Force developed at 2, K2. Force means your moment. The rotation is linked, rotation is related with moment. So moment equation, you know the slope deflection equation. Apply the slope deflection equation. That is the developed due to the unit rotation. So that is 2vi by L, 2 theta b plus 2 theta c minus 3 delta by here. Delta 0, theta b 0. So it is ci by. Now this is equal to this. So that you can prove the K21 is equal to K12. Will always same. So if you will not also do this, you can directly write down this. If you want to save time, you can omit this also. So this is equal to this standard property of this matrix. If it is not coming, there is some mistake you are doing, but it must come. What is K22? This will commonly span CB 2 theta C plus theta B. 2 theta C plus theta B. And delta 0, theta 0, it becomes EI. So now we calculate all the stiffness coefficients. These are basically stiffness coefficients. Or you can take the element of the stiffness matrix. You can say elements of stiffness matrix. So these are 2 by 2 matrix. As I've told, 2 by 2 matrix development is easy. And you can always solve this, the inverse of these things. So now, go to the equation. Now what is the equation? K delta. K delta is equal to P minus PL. K delta is equal to P minus PL. Now we have this 7 by 3i, ei by 2, ei by 2, theta b, theta c. Now this is your P matrix. We have discussed 0 and 120, and here is the PL. Now P minus PL means 0 minus 66.67. This is minus 60.67 or plus 66.67. Okay, this is a minus 66.67. Okay. He has forgotten. That was make the correction here. The answer final is correct, but is it not written minus? Minus 66.67, so it becomes plus 120 minus 106.67, it becomes 13.33. It was minus or plus? I think both are confusing. This is plus, this is minus. This has been reversed. C means CB, so this must be clockwise. So clockwise means positive. Okay, please make the correction. This will be plus, this is minus. It will be 66.67 plus 13.33 plus. Now just calculate inverse. you can find the values of theta B and theta C. Theta B is equal to 280.280 by EI. Theta C is equal to minus 1.07 by EI. Okay. And once you find these values, then we can find the individual values. That is MAB, MBA, MBC, and MCB. Okay. You can find all these values, and MCB, just see it. MCB come to be 120 kilonewton meter. So this is correct. Okay. You have taken the joint moment one. You will find this this is overhanging case. Okay. So if this is 60, okay, 60 by 2. Now if you will try to split it here, what will be look here? It is log this. This is like this. So this will be 120 here. This will be 120. Then only it can balance. There is a clockwise movement here. The fixed moment here will be anti-clockwise. So this is 120. This must be 120. The moment applied was also 120 clockwise. So from this you can verify this is correct. Okay. Now we'll draw the free body diagram. Sorry, bending moment diagram. 120 minus 78 plus 78, and it is coming minus 60.8. We can say minus 60, 78, and 120. 60. Let's come here. Now, if you try to draw this bending moment diagram here, so what will the bending moment diagram now? So you have here there is here the continuous things. Okay. Clockwise here 120, 120 here, and clockwise means negative 68 here, 68 here, something 80 or 78 here. Okay, this is the exact value. This is will come like this. Straight line. It will go like this. 120. It will come to 0 here. This is your support C. This is D. And this is your D. And this is your A. So A, B, C, D you can write down. And you see this is minus 80 means here, or minus 78 means anti-clockwise. So anti-clockwise movements are negative here. Clockwise movements are negative here. Again here minus anti-clockwise negative here. Here again clockwise is negative here. So just write the ordinates. So this is the movements at the members at A, B. Now with this you have to take this. So what will the ordinate here? 90 WAB 2 to 4 by L. W is as a simple supported. We have to superimpose this negative moment with the positive moment. So 15, 60, 120. So this value will be around 120. Okay. So 120 here means it will be like this. Okay. 120 will be like this. Okay. So this is 120. Now here WL square by 8. So 80 L square 16 by 8 means 160. So it will come like something here. 160. So you can draw over this. 160 is a parabolic. Okay. So this is 160 here. This ordinate. Okay. Now this is the positive. The total is 160. Your total is 120. So negative, 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 and this is positive. So you are very clear how to draw this bending moment diagram. Now with this we conclude today's class. In the next class also we'll see some of the problems on this stiffness matrix. Thank you for attending this lecture. Have a great day. Thank you all.